US President Joe Biden has meanwhile told Israel's Prime Minister that a major ground operation in the southern Gazan city of Rafah would be a mistake. The concern was raised in the first phone call the leaders have held in a month. Our North America correspondent Carrington Clark joins us now from Washington. Carrington, good morning. What do we know about this phone call?
Well, Michael, as you've pointed out, this was an eagerly awaited phone call, the first in a month between America's President Joe Biden and Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And since they last spoke, it has been obvious that there is a deepening rift between these two leaders who have a history that goes back decades. Recently, Joe Biden did describe the Israeli response in Gaza as over the top. We've also recently had the highest elected Jewish official here in the United States, the majority leader in the Senate, Chuck Schumer, call for Benjamin Netanyahu to lose his position, saying that he's an obstacle to peace in Gaza, a description that was knocked back by the Israeli Prime Minister. But today we have had this direct conversation between the American president and Benjamin Netanyahu, and what we heard from the National Security Advisor here in the United States, that's Jake Sullivan, is that Joe Biden was very blunt with the Israeli Prime Minister. Jake Sullivan says the phone call was businesslike, but he did warn that America did not support a ground offensive in the southern Gazan city of Rafah, that they are concerned about the civilian situation. We know well over 1 million Palestinians have sought sanctuary in Rafah because so much of the Gaza Strip has been destroyed by Israeli bombardment. And he says Israel has not yet proven to both the United States and to the world that they have a plan that would minimize the civilian toll of any such offensive in the south. And importantly, America is the biggest military supporter of Israel. And although Jake Sullivan says that President Biden did not make any threats, he did request that Israel send a team to Washington to explain in person what the plans of the Israeli military are in Rafah before any such decision on an offensive in Rafah is taken.
So what has Israel had to say about the phone call?
So Israel was actually first out of the gate, if you will, with a description of the phone call. It was very short. It was attributed to the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, and he just said that they discussed Israel's commitment to achieving all of the war's goals, eliminating Hamas, freeing all of our hostages, and ensuring that Gaza never again constitutes a threat to Israel, while providing the necessary humanitarian aid that will assist in achieving these goals. So a complete difference of emphasis. Jake Sullivan, the National Security Advisor, making clear that America has major concerns about the humanitarian situation in Gaza, and in particular what would happen if there was a ground offensive in Rafah, and made clear that they do not support the current planned offensive.